Well, thanks for joining us once again, everybody, for what promises to be another exciting edition of Pick Your Politics. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers. And, we love doing the show because I love politics, number one. We have a number of races that are coming up very shortly, and you must vet your candidates. You must get to know them, their philosophy, what they want to do for you. And we have a young lady on the program today that is very specific about what she would like to do for the population of Las Vegas. So let me tell you a little bit about our guest, Tera Anderson. She is a lifelong Las Vegan, and I think if I remember correctly, Tera, you're third generation?
Nearly. My grandmother moved here when she was 13.
Okay, so third, yeah, pretty
two
close.
and a half.
Okay, you're not supposed to correct the host, but that's okay. She is currently a candidate running for the position of mayor of Las Vegas. One of Tera's platforms is that as mayor, she's going to bring a new direction to the city with the help of her expertise in land and economic development. She's a graduate of Durango High School, which is cool, and has earned a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and International Relations from Puget Sound University, and an executive MBA from the Thunderbird School of Global Management, and that is Arizona State University, and is currently working on her master's degree in construction management. All right. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And I want you to just be relaxed and tell all of our viewers what your philosophy is, what your ideas are, what your opinions are. But first, I want to ask you this. Without any political background, Tera, what prompted you to enter into the mayoral race?
It's a big question with a multi-pronged answer. First and foremost, I was raised in a home where civic participation was just part of our family fabric.
Okay.
My parents raised us on the values of being purposeful and useful in the skills and the talents that you acquire, not just for your own individual life enrichment, but be of value to your community. And I believe I have a unique constellation of skills that are very relevant to the role as mayor. I, like a lot of people, I'm worried about the political climate. I'm worried about the lack
of... There are a lot of other people.
Yeah, and that's not just a local issue, but
right.
it's part of the national conversation.
Right.
And so I would be remiss in not showing up to contribute what I believe is very timely for both the opportunities and challenges facing our city.
Okay. I like that word constellation, though. That was good. I got to remember that. What do you think is the most important function of the mayor? Because they do a lot of things as mayor. You do a hell of a lot of things, but what do you think is the most important function?
I think you should be an exemplary member of your community. I think you need to be someone that your constituents are proud to have representing you, that you have a command of the issues facing your community, and that you have an ability to coalesce with the cast of participants, whether it's your other council members, the county, the legislature. The mayor is the ultimate voice that should be emblematic of what we want the world to see as the city of Las Vegas. And for me, I want that leadership to be vibrant and dynamic as the world sees us.
Right. As we were talking before, and I've mentioned this on other shows, it's okay if you want to be the mayor of Tulsa, Oklahoma, or whatever, but when you're the mayor of Las Vegas, and everybody knows Las Vegas worldwide, that is a fantastic position. That has a lot of responsibility to it.
I
Because
think,
everybody knows what's going on here. Everybody knows Las Vegas.
well, two things. One, I think regardless of the size of your city, any public servant, the impact that you have on the quality of life of those you represent is a role to be revered, small or large. Yes, Las Vegas has the global brand recognition that the Tulsas may not have, and that adds an added layer and complexity. But one thing I think has been missing in the narrative about Las Vegas, we have done an exceptional job at marketing our city and our community for tourism and entertainment and all the extraordinary, special events and things that we do.
Yeah.
But what I would love to do is draw and elevate more attention to how extraordinary our community is. As somebody who's from here, who's proud to be from here, that is a message that when business and industry are deciding where they want to relocate or expand to, they want to know for their employees, what is the quality of life and the sense of community that you have in Las Vegas? Not just our extraordinary entertainment and gaming. And so
that's well said. And I'm going to jump to a question. I don't mean to cut you off. What would you do as mayor to incentivize businesses to come here to Las Vegas, small and large?
So first and foremost, I am a small government gal. I am not a government is the solution-minded person. But I think the very first thing that I want to pursue as mayor is any business or developer that wants to expand into our market, launch a startup and/or create something new. The path to entering our market should be navigable. It should be transparent. You should be able to anticipate what is it going to cost, what's the time to market, what is my inspection requirements. And right now, there's a lot to be desired. And what people need to recognize, our leaders need to recognize, is that business and industry don't just look at Las Vegas. They look at the comparative and competitive advantage of other locations in the region.
Right.
And if we're not proving ourselves to be nimble and responsive to business and industry, they will find other locations because making sizable capital investments is a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And so for business and industry, they're going to want to be in a city that is responsive and collaborative and navigable. And so that's a priority for me. And then diversification, that's born from making it easy to do business in Las Vegas.
Well said.
And right now, our peer cities in the region are kind of eating our breakfast on the diversification front.
Are you down for giving them some incentives, though, for people that want to come here?
So
And that's a pretty common practice all over.
It is. And so incentives can be multifaceted. First off, time to market is a real cost of doing business. So advancing that pace, making sure that we have the adequate services, we're responsive to business and industry to get them their new business open and ready to start transacting, that's one cost savings without having to spend a dollar. The other thing is if you're going to subsidize business and industry, you have to make sure that you're subsidizing industry that one is a relevant gap in the market that you want to attract, and that you're not that you're deliberate in you don't incentivize activity that's already organically occurring, right? If you want to attract particular business and industry, then yes, but you have to look at the economics of a win-win, not just for throwing money or offering money to business and industry without very clear metrics of the value add that it offers for the taxpayer money that you provide to attract them.
I agree with that.
Right?
I agree with that. You say that you want to improve the lives of the people living in Las Vegas. How are you planning on doing that?
Well, business and industry is a huge part of it. I think at our core, our human dignity is rooted in feeling like we can live productive, enriched lives. And if we as a city are not ensuring that there is vibrant economic activity, that stifles people's quality of life, first and foremost. Second of all, I think even from a beautification perspective, our downtown, there's still so much untapped potential for, vibrant pedestrian traffic where, you visit cities and sometimes you don't know why you've got that warm and fuzzy feel, but all you want to do is go for a walk or a bike ride or, you just feel good being there. And these are the kinds of deliberate, we should be state of the art in design, for example. So it's multifaceted, but I also want people, through the transparency of the city, we will be the most accessible city, where people have confidence that they know what's going on at their city, they feel heard, there's not some barrier to connect with not just the city leadership, but staff, the respective departments that are providing services. Government is there to work for people, not be an impediment or big brother, in my view.
Right. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. All right, let's highlight some of the many issues here and elsewhere, of course. Let's talk about a very important issue, and that is of public safety, especially with Las Vegas being a tourist-driven economy. Okay, that's very important. What's your feelings about public safety? It's extremely important here. If people don't feel safe here, they ain't gonna come here, and that hurts.
Absolutely, and that to me is first and foremost the starting point for any city. If law enforcement has to be held in the regard that it should be for the services that they render to keep our city safe and our most vulnerable safe. And so from a city budget perspective, that is first and foremost an area that I want to focus on to see, one, how do we get more cops on the streets? How do we also elevate this sense of pride that we have in our law enforcement and the community engagement with our law enforcement? I've been a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department volunteer now for several years, and the things that I've learned, I want to grow that program so that people have access and trusted relationships, because the narrative right now is not serving anybody.
No, it's not.
No, it's undermining.
And we need a lot more cops, you're right.
Yes.
We do. We gotta give them some bolstering again, you're right. I forgot to mention that you were connected with Metro in that way. In fact, I think I've seen you directing traffic on Fremont Street.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. Hey,
It's not beneath me.
But she does it very well, folks. And she goes, so you don't mind stopping for her. All right, let's talk about how you're going to get along with the other city council members. They've all got different personalities. They've all got different views and philosophies. How are you going to melt into that?
Well, one, I think it's unfortunate that those are even the questions that we have to ask today in modern politics, but it's absolutely a factor. Look, I come from a very different point of reference. A lot of probably the perceived front runners in this race are longtime politicians who've been, in the partisan politics for years. I have done business with Democrats, with Republicans, with all walks of life, and all that matters is the merits of the decision, is the work getting executed, or is the customer satisfied, and in this instance, it's our taxpayers. And so I would approach them with the same level of respect and open-mindedness that I would in any other engagement in life. But I also do believe in constructive conflict. If you're really going to have the greatest outcome, you've got to really fully vet the initiatives and the decisions of the council. And I intend to have a very healthy, constructive, collaborative dynamic with anybody I interface with.
Oh, that's good. You have to. Tera Anderson is our special guest here on Pick Your Politics. She is a mayoral candidate. Bigger and bigger problem here and many other places, Tera, and you know this, that's homelessness. There's a lot of people have come up with a lot of solutions, most of which takes a hell of a lot of money. But what's your view on that? What are we going to do about that? It's terrible.
It is a challenge that just about every urban city in the country is facing.
Right.
For me, in my view, first and foremost, we as a city have to collectively commit to ending the informal economy of panhandling. By participating in it, we are diluting our service providers' ability to get services to those in need. And so, because there are a lot of great service providers, a lot of private sector people that are putting substantial money and investment in championing this cause. So there's certainly that piece. The job creation piece is essential for those that are displaced or out of work, and it's an economics issue. But then also mental health. There's the issue of we are quite possibly one of the lower reimbursement rates for Medicaid across states-wise, across the country. That's a legislature issue. But again, as mayor, you have a voice in these conversations. And so that is a vital piece of it, especially if we're going to champion the mental health challenges that are facing the community.
You know, everybody's got their own opinions on what they should do, and it's a tough area to tackle. Can't put everybody in jail. You can't build mental health facilities, all over. And it really is a challenge, but it's something that really has to be addressed. And again, something like that affects the way people feel about coming here. Goes back to public safety. Not that there's been, fortunately, any great issues that have gone wrong with that. Might be annoying a little bit, but it's definitely a challenge. How would you work with the county commission? All of which are Democrats, by the way.
Their party affiliation is of no consequence to me. Again, I don't hail from politics. The business decisions that I've made throughout my career are based on the merits of their decision, not based on someone's, which team they're part of on their voter registration card. But I'm collaborative by nature. I'm transparent. I'm accessible. I am a roll up your sleeves, get things done. I was raised in a strong work ethic family, and so I would treat people with respect and consideration of their views, and where you differ, you are forthright and you try to overcome any impasses on differences of opinion. But that goes for anybody, regardless of, and I would extend the same level of respect and accessibility to a constituent, not just to a constituent, a community member, a business leader. That's a universal value that I hold. It's not respective of office or position in society.
I agree totally, 100%. You got to be nice to everybody.
Yes.
Got to be nice. What's the old saying? Get a lot more with honey than you do
with vinegar.
With vinegar, yeah. Thank you for helping me
You're
out
welcome.
on that.
Did I interrupt you? Does that count as an interruption?
No,
okay,
no. You're fine. I'll let you know when you're stepping on my my stuff. And I say this every show. It takes a lot. It takes money, because these people put in blood, sweat, and tears when they run for office. It's a lot of hard work, and if you don't believe it, try filing for something and you'll see exactly what I mean. What's your plan to get out in front of people to raise some money? Because everybody needs to raise money. You have events, you have town halls, you have meet and greets, whatever. What are you doing in that regard? You need volunteers, and tell everybody your website, because if you go on Tera's website, you will find a place if you want to donate, which would be great. If you want to volunteer, and every candidate needs volunteers because they walk the neighborhoods, they meet and greet people, they'll pass out flyers or whatever, and they knock on doors, introduce themselves. Tell everybody your website address.
It is Tera Anderson for LasVegas.com, all spelled out, no numbers, but Tera is Tera. So Tera Anderson for LasVegas.com.
Okay.
But to your question about what am I doing?
Yeah,
All of the above. There is
great.
no stone unturned getting out there, meeting with people. I enjoy meeting with people. I very much appreciate people that are participatory, that have shared with me the things that are of importance to them. And so I'm events, fundraisers, starting to accumulate volunteers, which will probably be more mobilized after the first of the year. I hope everyone enjoys their holidays before they'll be
that's right.
walking and all that. But all of the above.
Yeah. Hey, and if you've got, doesn't have to be a party house. If you want to volunteer your house to have a small gathering, 10, 12 people, Tara's down for that. She'll come by. She'll talk to you. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of her. Let her know. Everybody's got friends out there, and that's a very good way to start it. Yeah. I mean, I would volunteer my place, but I got to clean it, so I don't want to do that.
Well, that's, I mean, different kinds of crowds, I guess.
Yeah.
It takes all kinds.
Yeah, if I didn't have to clean it, I don't know, but I think my dog Mulligan would absolutely love it too. You're meeting people. What are a couple of the questions that they are asking you? What are they interested in, Tara?
Well, sadly, there are some people who are just at the first opportunity so frustrated with the middle school food fight that is modern day politics. So, I've been really enthusiastic when I get to chat with people who are excited about kind of a breath of fresh air in politics and not sort of the same old back and forth grenade throwing type of dynamic. But education has been a big question.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is obviously a complex issue. Traffic and road construction
Thank you.
actually ranks quite high up there, and I hail from the land development construction world, so I totally logistically recognize the opportunities there. Accessibility. There's a lack of confidence in politics in general.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, this race alone will, in a community of 660,000 people, this race will likely be decided by fewer than 100,000 votes. And so people are uninspired by and I'm painting with broad strokes. This is a national challenge with just the climate of politics. And so I want to inspire people to get engaged. And I've had some really great conversations with folks when they hear that I'm about practical, deliberate leadership that's trying to get above the fray and the chaos that so many people are at best disenchanted by and at worst outright disgusted by.
Yeah, true.
So, but the issues vary widely. Crime and safety is always, ranks high up there. Yeah. But I think it's the overall confidence in new leadership and also I'm encouraged that a lot of people are excited about the future still yet for Las Vegas.
Absolutely. It's a great place to live, great place to do business. And, you got to be very optimistic. There's good things ahead. But do you run into this? Oh, well, Tara, I love your message. But, honey, you're only one person. So how are you going to change things? You run into that?
Not really, shockingly.
I'm surprised at that. I am.
Well, maybe they're just holding back. They're not. But I haven't had a lot of that. I've had some just, general discouragement about politics. But when they've gotten an opportunity to visit with me and hear what I'm about and why the specific tacts that I want to take to be effective and garner results, not just be aspirational. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running, is that it's not enough to be an elected official and be aspirational. You have to be able to have a command of the issues to be effective. And so, and I
100%.
believe I'm poised to do that. And so I've had a lot of really rewarding conversations, but another topic I failed to mention a moment ago is water. And our deliberate growth and infrastructure. That is a huge motivator for me to run.
Yeah. Water is an issue.
It is.
Yeah. And I think for the most part, Southern Nevada Water District and people here for the most part are doing better with it.
We have tackled conservation. We have left no stone unturned, but ultimately we're part of a pro rata share of the river. And if our partner states in the Colorado River Compact are not taking the same tact, and water's continuing to run out into the ocean, and infrastructure that's been on the books that doesn't get built and delivered for recapture, we are perpetually depleting our water source. So we as Nevada can't do it alone, but navigating that agreement, holding the Colorado River Commission, the SNWA, the legislature, the governor to task to pursue that renegotiation more strategically is an important piece. And again, as somebody who hails from land development, infrastructure planning, I would love to be a part of that conversation. Just from a strategic idea, let's tackle this in a more robust fashion, because we can't conserve our way to water stability alone.
And we have to have it here because we are in the desert, and it's up to the people that live here, and everybody's got to do their own thing. How would you work with the legislature, with the governor, with Governor Lombardo, and the Senate, and the other people up there? Do you see yourself getting involved with bills, with trying to do things for the city of Las Vegas?
So the city of Las Vegas is always participatory in the legislative process. The city's government affairs team always closely tracks the bills that are going before the legislature. Of course, those that are more specifically going to have a direct impact on the city. But absolutely, I mean, I approach everything with a winning attitude, with that there's no challenge that can't be solved. And I hope to offer ideas, a fresh perspective, a wealth of knowledge to offer. I don't intend to encroach upon anyone else's role or responsibilities, but I very much, two heads are better than one, three heads are better than two. And if you have ideas to help be the architect of solutions, I will happily offer those based on my experience and any strategic opportunities to collaborate. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree. And especially when it comes to land development, because you have the expertise in that. It's what you went to school for, and that's what you do. And, I'm surprised your name really isn't Terra Firma.
So my parents do have an underground utilities company called Terra Contracting, and my brother got a lot of miles out of the joke that their company is Terra. And my brother got a lot of miles out of Terra means dirt as a kid. So he got a lot of miles.
Shame on him.
Right, big brother stuff.
Shame on him. Look into the camera. Tell everybody that's watching how your message, how you differ in your message, one or two things than your opponents.
I am somebody who I've proven results. I'm not interested in old school political gamesmanship. I'm interested in effective policy. I am, unlike, I believe, my other candidates, I want to eliminate the barriers and what I view as somewhat of a fiefdom that's growing in politics. And that my role is to serve you, help enrich your life, be responsive to you, and help in any way possible to maintain an acute understanding in real time of what you're experiencing and how we as a city can be an asset and a resource to you, not an impediment, but a collaborative partner to help grow and deliberately evolve our city in a way that is able to lift everyone up. And I don't want a city government where you have to know a guy to get something done. And so I intend to be the most accessible mayor, and I applaud Carolyn Goodman, who's terming out. She has always been a very accessible woman, and
We're
and
getting
so
her on the show.
oh, good,
Yeah.
good. So
She's going to talk about you specifically. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, so
Yeah.
that those are my priorities. And again, I draw from a very different wealth of experience that I think is uniquely relevant to, again, the challenges and untapped potential that I think we as a city still have yet to tackle.
Okay. Well said. Well said. Well said. And I keep saying on every show, it doesn't matter who you vote for. It does and it doesn't, but the important thing is you've got to get out and vote. Vet your candidates if you like what they have to say, if you believe in their direction. You got to get out and vote. That's how you get it done. That's how you get it done. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Great job.
Great to meet you.
And we'll have you back sooner than later.
Sounds good.
And keep it going. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Pick Your Politics. For Tara, I'm Dennis Silvers. And make sure you do your homework, and we'll see you back, same place, same time, next week. So long, everybody.